Thank you very much for having time to join us on the Health Show. Today we'll be talking matters, nutrition, and we're privileged to have a nutritionist with us in the studio who will be telling us the do's and don'ts of what to eat and what not to eat. That's in order for us to live a healthy life. Thank you very much for having time to join us on this production. Thank you very much. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you.
To the LTN viewers who might be watching you for the first time in this show, please do let us know your name.
Okay. My name's Wangui Wa Mwangi, and I work for Mawaitha Proffessional Councelling and Nutrition. And I do have a background in professional counseling and also nutrition. And I also have a background in education. I went to Egerton University. Yes.
Thank you very much, Wangui, and feel welcome to our studios today. So today, first of all, why did you decide to do nutrition?
I decided to do nutrition because actually I went through some kind of a roller coaster in my life. And one time I traveled to USA.
Yeah.
And I would say, like just like any other person, you are very vibrant and you don't remember what you put into the system and stuff like that. So when I came back to Kenya, I felt really fatigued. And I knew it wasn't jet lag, it was different, and I didn't know what was happening. So I went to see a doctor, and it's always good to see a doctor.
Yeah.
So, they told me the reason you are getting so fatigued is because you do not have enough blood. I was like, really? And I find myself, I eat a lot, and, so I was wondering, how come I do not have enough blood?
Yeah.
So I went back, and they did a lot of work, and they found that I was suffering from fibroids. I was really scared because it was really like my first time to hear about tumors. We have heard of tumors in cancer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was really, really traumatizing for me. So at that particular time, I didn't know what to do. So I asked the doctor, and now that I have fibroids, what do I do?
Yeah.
He said, well, if they are not really disturbing you and stuff, you can wait until they are they break themselves, in terms of age. Then I said, how shall I wait with all this kind of stuff where I don't have enough blood and all that? And so he said, it's okay. What we are going to do, we are just going to, stabilize your blood, and then from there we can do surgery. So I was really scared of surgery because, when you are on the doctor's table, sometimes, you can decide to go the other side. Other times, you can come back to us.
Yeah.
So it was really, really scary. But then, I said, be it, because others go through it and they come back and they are fine. And at that particular time, I wasn't really thinking so much about anything else. But then I was too scared. So I decided to Google and find out what is really happening with my body and is there anything else that I can do about that. So I Googled and I didn't find anything that was going to really help me. So I waited. But then one day I met the doctor again, on the road, and then he's like, Wamwangi, now you can come back, and I think we have really stabilized you nice. You can come for the surgery. So I asked him, how many hours? He said 3 hours. I was like, oh my God.
3 hours for surgery.
And it was so scary. So I thought, it's like taking 3 hours to die, Yeah. So I was really, really traumatized at that particular time, and I wasn't ready. I wasn't really feeling ready for that for some reason. Then somehow I got into the computers again, and then I came out with this nice concoction, but food. Then I tried it for I came home, I told my husband, I think I'm going to try this concoction for some time, and then I see how it works. Because I'm not really ready for surgery.
Yeah.
Then I decided, because of the counseling background, then I took my kids to the doctor. They were still very young kids. But I told the doctor, explain to them about these pictures, tell them what's going to happen in terms of, because you don't want to lie to the kids. You just go to the surgery, they don't know where you went. If you decide to die there, they don't know what has happened, So I told the doctor to really explain to the kids what was really happening. So the doctor explained to the kids nicely, and they got to understand, although they were crying and they were like, Mom, you are very impatient, why do you want to go for surgery? And they don't know how much I was so afraid of surgery. So eventually, when I came up with that conclusion, I talked to my husband. I told him, this is what I'm going to try before I go for the surgery.
And it worked?
And it worked. Then I decided to go and really check whether, what after. Because now I started feeling better. And after like 4 days, I felt better, nice. So I went to see... to check on blood, it had stabilized. But, when I went to the doctors, they could see that, not the doctor, the gynecologist. I didn't go to the gynecologist. I went to these people that take ultrasound. And, I said, how are my things? This was after like a month. And the guy asked me, what are you doing? I mean, they seem to be shrinking. From there, I never went back there. I started doing that, and then this researcher, who is also my husband, he also started researching on what we are doing.
Okay.
And he came with, it's also, like fruits, fermented fruits. And, they worked the thing out, cleansing, eating right. And I said, gosh, this is wonderful.
So all in all, that motivated you to start doing nutrition and all that?
Yes. And I've never looked back. And I've helped so many people now with that condition. And so many others now that after I went back now to school and enriching myself in terms of that. And it's very, very motivating every morning when people call me and they are like, oh my God, I was so constipated yesterday, today I feel better, Or I've been using medication for like couple of years. Now, the doctor said, I could support myself with food. And I feel so good.
And then at the same time, Wangui, you told me you are a nutritionist. At the same time, you offer advice. So yes. I don't know what type of people you offer advice to. The sick or just any person? Actually,
we've tried to go to churches. We've gone to schools. People have come to know us. Some come for nutrition. They come to learn we can also do counseling. Others come for counseling. They learn that we can help with nutrition. And I also found those people that come to seek us in terms of depression, there's so much, it's so connected when it comes to nutrition and also counseling. Because you come with depression, you need, counseling for depression. But we also find that what is really happening, there is something that is happening within the brain, and it's all like food that stabilizes. Mostly those people that they go and sometimes they give birth, and then sometimes they have some blues, they don't know why they don't want their babies, stuff like that. We combine like nutrition and counseling. Others is about sleeping. We combine nutrition and counseling. Okay. So they really work hand in hand. I don't know why I had not thought about that. But sometimes you have to go through life roller coasters to really come to that. Yes.
And then, Wangui, let's talk about nutritionist offered to those who have different ailments.
Yes.
Let me talk about the chronic diseases. Let us begin with cancer and maybe diabetes.
Yes.
Which type of food should they be eating?
Actually, that is really a good question. Because what, you can even combine the two, the cancer and diabetes. Most of the times, if you look at the cancer and the way those cells grow, and then they bind together besides now like leukemia, you find most of the times it is coming mostly from maybe your digestive system. And you find it is mostly maybe what you eat. Although even sometimes the environment where we are living sometimes is also a problem. If you look at, cancer itself, there are times we expose ourselves. Sometimes we expose ourselves because when you go like to put, to apply stuff on your skin or even to use perfume, stuff like that, or even deodorants, sometimes they have chemicals that have been proven to cause cancer, or they have carcinogens, mostly something like paraben. When you go out there, look for something like is paraben free. It helps a little bit. Also, when it comes to like air, make sure your air, where you are sleeping. Like there are a few places I've visited, and I've found young people like in rural areas where they put, chemicals like herbicides, pesticides in the room where they are living. Now you see, you consume all that, so that is not really clean air. So that can build into
system.
Yes. And the other thing is people do not actually hydrate themselves. Most of my clients that come, mostly now the diabetic people, I find most of the times that the bodies are so dry.
They don't take a lot of water.
They do not take, not a lot of water.
They don't take water at
They
all.
do not. Some tell me, but you see, I've taken tea, I've taken coffee, I've taken milk, I've taken all those nice things they come up with. But pure, clean water is very, very important for the body. There's something else. There are people, they are diabetic, yet they do not take vegetables. Actually, they are like allergic to vegetables. And that works for people with cancer, people with diabetes. And you find it's really, really bad. Actually, that is what I always say when I go to a funeral. When this person is really conducting the prayers in terms of of what has happened, you find they say that this person got sick from this time, or they started have like the body disturbed them the whole entire time for like 5 years or 10 years. What this person does not tell these people is that this person has disturbed his body for like 10 or 20 years. You see? Because that's the way it's supposed to be. Because once you disturb your body by taking processed foods, not hydrating it, making sure that all the pesticides and the herbicides live with you, of course you are disturbing the body, isn't it? So you cannot come again and say the body has really been disturbing you and all this. So you've been bringing diseases.
So you have been disturbing the body. It's the other way around.
It is the other way around. So I look at that and I find if you are able, like the very first thing in the morning, cancer patients, diabetic people, immediately you wake up, make sure that you cleanse the body. You take water.
In the morning before you take any meals?
Yes, but it has to be warm.
Warm water.
Warm water. So that you cleanse the body. And even there are so many people that suffer from constipation. If you try to do that, your body, gets the large intestine, like moistened, and then you are able to go.
But again, what causes constipation? Is it that the food that we take is the thing that normally causes it or something?
Of course. That is what actually happens, because or other times if you have like a high blood pressure also, like the chemicals you're putting in your system, sometimes they can also cause constipation. But that one not really withstanding. You are supposed to keep on replenishing the water, because you find most of the medication, I'm not really a medical doctor, but I can tell the medication you are given, it's mostly to take extra sodium out and extra water out. So you can see that you are losing a lot of moisture. But on top of that, besides what you have taken the medication with, that little water, you never, hydrate the system. So it's like all the time, most of the time when we put our clients into the system to see how their bodies are, we find the bodies are like alcoholic desert, and they are complaining. Once they are hydrated, they are good. Within like a week, they are good. Yeah, because the body is hydrated. So there's hydration, there's eating of raw vegetables, raw fruits, and nuts. Mostly, if you are really suffering from cancer, eat less animal meat. Yes, actually, and also milk. Less. And if you have to take like skimmed milk. If you have to take meat, take it with resistant starches. Resistant starches are like sweet potatoes. They are like bananas. They are like arrowroots. Yes.
How about foods rich with fiber?
Yeah.
What does they help the body with?
They do help. Those resistant starches that I'm talking about, they have a lot of fiber. This fiber is able to cleanse the system as it gets there. But again, this 100% fiber, you cannot just let it go like that. You have to hydrate the body, because again, you might find yourself still, congested. And once the body is congested, you also have mental congestion. Yeah. So both of them work hard in hand. Yes.
Thank you very much, Wangui. I know nutrition is a very large topic that you can't even talk about it and finish it at the moment.
True.
Why don't we talk about nutrition maybe in our next segment, when we will be meeting again on our next segment?
Yes.
Okay, so the LTN viewers, part 2 of this segment, catch us next week, same time, same place. We'll be talking much about nutrition, so get to know about what food you should be taking. Those who have different types of ailments, what should you be doing and what should you not be doing. Thank you very much for having time to join us at this particular moment. Until next time, it's adios.
Thank you.